Hello, good evening. It's Friday. It is 7:30. My name is Richard. This is Over and Over Again, and it is the Arsenal Women's Show, the second one of the week actually, because we had one on Monday. We've had to shuffle things around a little bit this week, but we are back on our usual time slot on Friday. Of course, this is a big weekend, isn't it? The final weekend of the WSL season. It's been 9 months of blood, sweat, and tears, and it's all going to come down to the last 90 minutes before the league title is decided. Obviously, it's either going to be us or it's going to be Chelsea. It is going to be a very tense afternoon. So we've got that to look forward to. And of course, as well, we've got the small matter of the North London derby, of course, the other night at the Emirates, which was a great game and a great win for Arsenal. So we'll talk about that as well. And also as well, there's been a couple of new contracts on the go as well this week. So we will look ahead to that as well, all coming up the other side of this. So it's the Arsenal Women's Show, and joining us, as always, our regular guest, of course, it's Andreas. How are you doing tonight?
Not bad. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here again. And your intro is getting better and better.
Yeah, I changed it today. I had a little mess around with it, tried to, change it up a little bit, which is needed to be done. And hopefully next week's one might be even better because there might be a certain little trophy maybe included in it, but we'll wait and see. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's a big week, a big weekend. It's been a big week actually for the Arsenal women anyway, and it's going to be an even bigger weekend as we know. So there is a lot to talk about. Matt is going to be joining us. He's just said he's running a little bit late tonight, unfortunately, but he will be here as soon as he can, and we will drop him into the show as soon as he gets here. Unfortunately, Amar can't be with us tonight. He's got a few family issues going on, so he won't be able to join us, unfortunately. But I'm sure he'll be back on the next show to give us his latest question, which is he hasn't lost his place to Andreas after the Monday show, because it was a good question Andreas posed us, but Amar's still got his job just for the time being. But that was good. So yeah, Matt will be joining us very, very shortly when he gets here. So I mean, there's only really one place that we can start, going back a couple of nights to the great game at the Emirates, a great victory in the end. For us, which we needed, of course. Anything else, and the title basically would have been done and dusted. In fact, the defeat would have handed it to Chelsea there and then. But we got the job done in the end, and it was a decent performance overall. So, of course, North London is red, as there was never any doubt it was going to be any other colour, really. But it was quite a strange game in many ways, actually, because we got a great start, but we didn't really build on that as I hoped that we would. In fact, we were quite fortunate to be 1-0. That they had a good chance, didn't they, to equalise soon after. Viv doing her defensive duties really well. And then the game became, due to Tottenham, it became quite scrappy, didn't it? A lot of fouls, a lot of bad tackles, actually, wasn't there? And in the end, our quality showed, and we got the 2 great goals in the second half from Caitlin, who deserves them, actually, because I think she's been playing really well. I mean, what did you make of it overall, Andreas? Because the most important thing was that we won the game, first and foremost, which we did. But Tottenham didn't really play a lot of football, did they? It was more like, I don't know what they were playing. Was it wrestling or rugby or something? It wasn't football, was it, that they were playing?
For us, the most important thing was that we got the 3 points, but it was a strange match because we got the lead after 4 minutes, I think, with this wonderful goal from Beth, and then there is no explanation why we got in trouble after leading 1-0, and this situation when Viv was clearing the ball off the line twice, I think this could have changed the whole match, this situation. And once again, I know, especially Matt is a big fan of Manu, but once again, this is a situation where she was not good, and very often this happens that crosses, high balls, corners to the 6-yard box, she gets in problems. She doesn't know what to do. Should I stand on the line? Should I go out this time? She decided to come out, trying to fist the ball away, and she was very far away from the ball. And then she stood and watched what happened, how we've cleared the ball. Yeah, we were lucky to have a striker who is so versatile that she also defends on the line. But this was a situation, a really difficult moment. But after this, we were the dominating team, and we should have scored another goal in the first half. This would have calmed the situation down. And yeah, one comment from Jonas in the press conference after match said everything. He said there were more than 10 fouls from Tottenham. I saw the statistics. I think it was 12 fouls from them. Yeah. And the average in a WSL game, as Jonas said, is less than 10. And he said there were two different systems playing against each other, and he is lucky that the football has won. This says everything. We were playing football. Tottenham was trying to destroy our rhythm, and there were a lot of tackles, a lot of fouls, and not fair actions, a lot of physicality in the match. It reminded me of the Wolfsburg style. They were playing like this. Maybe we must learn and adapt to this style of playing, and we must learn how to overcome this and play our style or dominate with our style. Fortunately, as Jonas said, the football style has won, and thanks to wonderful goals from Caitlin, and I think we are all happy that she got these 2 goals, because she's one of the players who made the most progress in the second half of the season. So overall, 3 points, and we can be satisfied. We took the decision to the last day of the season. That's what can you wish better than this?
No, exactly. I mean, that was that was the aim of the week, wasn't it? To win our games and take it to the last day, and we've done that. Matt's actually here now, which is great to see. How you doing, Matt? You okay?
Yeah, I'm all right. Just work slowed me down, so sorry I'm late.
No problem. We've only just really started anyway. Obviously, we are talking about the Tottenham game on Wednesday, which I know you were at. Did a great vlog for us. Really good. Really enjoyed that. That was great stuff. We were just talking really about Tottenham's rather sort of aggressive tactics, if you like, in that game. I mean, they made some horrendous tackles, didn't they? And they wanted to maybe try to throw us off our rhythm. And to a certain degree, at times in the game, it worked. But ultimately, our quality did come through and we won the game. And what did you make of it all, Matt? I mean, first of all, what was the atmosphere like in the ground? Because it was quite a good attack. I think it was 12,000, wasn't it? The attendance in the end.
Yeah. That what kind of threw me off, the fact that they didn't give out the attendance, how many people were actually there. Apparently it was 13,289 or something around that number. So it was lower numbers than we were expecting, because we were expecting about 15,000, maybe even towards 20,000 for the North London derby, had it originally gone ahead. One thing that kind of, just looking at the stats, I did double check the stats while you were talking, Andreas. They had 12 fouls and got 4 yellow cards. If I'm honest, half of those players could have been sent off. One of them elbowed, I think it was Leah Walty, in the head in the first half. That wasn't shown on the TV.
Actually, because she went down injured. Yeah, I think it was Leah Walty. Yeah,
and again, Leah Walty was attacked 3 or 4. Well, yes, that is a best description. She was literally attacked, but and got the booking. But I think that was. I don't understand why it was why it was only worth a yellow card. That if that happens in any other game, then it's a straight red. If that was an FA Cup game, if that was a League Cup game, if that was a Champions League game, they would have VAR'd it, and they would have turned around and gone, "That's a straight red. You can't give a yellow for that," because she's gone in with malicious intent. And watching it back, I remember them they were talking about all sorts of bits and bobs during the game. And then they were going on about how, imagine if you lost, you're this close to finishing the season, and then you're your injury. That's almost like you're rubbing it in Jordan Nobbs' face as well. The fact that you've injured yourself again before a really major tournament for yourself. It's just dangerous, and I think it's brought to the attention of how badly the referees need to go professional full time, because it's not fair, it's not enough, and these players are all professionals now, but their standard of refereeing is not where it should be.
No.
And it's a real shame, because there's been decisions that have gone against us, and there's some decisions that have gone against for us. But that's something that we like about the WSL. We don't want to see down the line VAR introduced just because. Oh God, sorry, my sister's trying to call me. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, the refereeing, that was one thing I was going to talk about anyway. It was one of the things that kind of annoyed me throughout the game. Oh, sorry, I'm going to have to take this call.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, in terms of the VAR, it's a strange situation because in the men's game, in the Premier League in particular, we've spent a lot of the last 2 or 3 years or so complaining about VAR and how bad it's been. And yet what we've noticed in the WSL, certainly this season, is actually we're almost crying out for VAR. And the reason for that, for me, is, as Matt rightly says, the standard of refereeing is generally poor, isn't it? Not just the other night, but in general, throughout, not just our games, throughout the WSL, I think the refereeing is really, really poor, the standard. And so many basic errors that they're making on a weekly basis, and it's not improving. Now, I never thought I would be crying out for VAR anywhere because of how terrible it's been in the men's game, but almost in the WSL, we almost need it. But we only need it because the standard of refereeing is so bad. Is there any way they can improve the referees? Is it to go full-time professional? Because in the Premier League, they're full-time professional. That hasn't really helped. So is that the answer? I don't know. It is an issue that needs to be sorted out one way or the other, because I think with VAR this season in the WSL, we may well be looking at a lot of different results. You know, you had our game at Chelsea when both teams could have had a penalty actually in that game. You know, the handball from Leah Williamson, there was a foul on Caitlin Ford in the first half, and there's been that game, the goal against Manchester City that they score when it hit the referee, and you know, there's been a lot of decisions that have, you know, some have gone our way, some have gone against us, but ultimately there's been too many mistakes in, you know, at the very top end of the game. And this is elite sport. You know, forget it's women's football or women's, but it doesn't matter. It's elite sport, top level sport. You need to have top level officiating, and we've not got that in the WSL. And the other night was, I mean, that foul on Leah Walty was horrendous. It's one of the worst tackled fouls I've ever seen in football ever. And the referee was close enough to it to have seen what happened, and she got a yellow card straight out. And that just summed up the whole refereeing performance for me. She let Tottenham get away with foul after foul after foul. You know, Katie McCabe got booked in that incident when Leah Walty nearly had her leg broken. Katie McCabe, for being a little bit upset that her teammate had been attacked like that on the pitch, and she got a yellow card. And it's like, well, hang on a minute. You know, how can what Katie McCabe did be equivalent to what the Tottenham player did, and they got the same punishment? It just makes no sense. And everybody could see that quite clearly. And for me, that wasn't even the first red card, a foul that Tottenham had made either in that game. It was terrible. And yeah, I mean, Matt's absolutely 100% right that the refereeing has been dreadful. I don't want VAR to come in, but I'm wondering if we've got any choice because of how bad it is. I mean, Andreas, I know it seems like we talk about the referees quite a lot, but the only reason is because of how bad it is, and it's not improving, is it? I mean, what do you think the answer is, apart from VAR? Is there anything that can be done, do you think, to improve the standard of the officiating in the WSL? Because they can't even bring VAR in because a lot of the stadiums haven't got the capabilities for it, have they? That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. When they bring the VAR in, it must be possibly in every stadium. We can't say in the most important matches or in the big stadiums, in 10% of the matches. That wouldn't be fair. But it's the education of the referees that must be improved. You mentioned a few of the worst decisions from this season. Don't forget the handball from Tottenham in the match at Man City. Was their winner. And this could have been of big influence for City for their season. So there were terrible referee decisions, and I think we don't have to discuss about this foul against Wally. This was one of the clearest red cards that has happened in this season. And of course, the yellow card for Katie was well deserved. Yeah, I would say I would have given her the yellow card too. But her reaction was because of the foul and because of the fact that there was only a yellow card for this foul. If there was a clear red card and maybe a second yellow card for a player, so and from Spurs and had been sent off earlier, then this foul wouldn't have happened. But such a situation shouldn't happen because they are all professionals, and what we always say about the women's game, it's more fair than the men's game. It's not so much acting and fouls and attacking, and the Spurs match, the North London derby, was just to the contrary. And we don't want to see this sort of matches. And it's up to the referees to prevent this and to take care for the fairness of a match, for keeping the standards like we want to have them. And this was just a proof for the fact that examinations and education for referees must improve.
Oh, 100% it has to. Yeah, it has to improve. Tom made a good point. He says Katie should have learnt. So, well, I think she tried to, didn't she? I mean, I don't think that would have helped because she'd have got a red card and that may not have helped her to win that game, actually. So it's probably just as well she didn't. But I could understand. I mean, I understood her frustration because, and I agree, in a way that was partly the referee's fault because the referee lost control of that game by not stamping down on the fouls a lot earlier. And that was the problem. So the game got out of control when it didn't need to. And that was 100% on the referee. She could have stopped that early on, start getting the yellow cards out, book the players, and they would have stopped fouling, or the manager would have had to take them off. But the funny thing was, and Matt, I did want to kind of touch on this a little bit. When Spurs recently played Chelsea twice, and they didn't play like that against Chelsea either time. They didn't go out to kick Chelsea. Now, is that because we're seen as more of an easy target? Maybe they watched the Wolfsburg game, as was mentioned. Maybe they thought that they can get at us physically and it's going to throw us off. Or is it just because Chelsea, I don't know, are they more intimidating than we are? Because they didn't play like that against Chelsea, did they? I watched both of them games and they didn't kick them, did they? They tried to play football against Chelsea, actually, in both the games, funnily enough. But against us, they didn't even try. They just wanted to kick us. And I just sort of found that a little bit, that annoyed me a little bit in a way. It's like, why did they not do the same against Chelsea, try and disrupt Chelsea like that?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, imagine if that was the Tottenham that turned up against Chelsea in that first game when they were already one player down. There would have been fights all over the pitch, and perhaps a lot more players would have been sent off on that day. But it seems to be maybe they wanted to be the party poopers, and instead of being the party poopers for both teams, they turn around and decide, right, if we can't do it fairly, we'll try and be dirty. And it didn't work. It did not work. I looked at the team and it was almost like a license to shoot. When we scored all three goals, they had so much time on the ball that they could have done compilations of skill schools and things like that by the time that a defender would have actually gone over there.
Yeah, he did have a lot of time, yeah, you're right.
I mean, Kim Little could have probably just juggled the ball in the penalty area. That's how much time and space that they had for those goals. It was unbelievably, unprofessionally done from them. I've never seen it like that. I mean, I'm pretty sure when we played them the last time, they actually came and they tried to play a little bit, and they got a goal by pure luck. Again, it was that Jen and Lotta play centre back pairing that sort of gave them the goal. But we came and we could have won that game, but that was it. Obviously, Jonas must have been playing that in the back of his mind, like the referee might not turn up today, so we got to make sure that we're on our A game. Whatever was being said, whatever was done right, the lead up to everything, They were made sure that we've got to make sure that we are 100% perfect no matter what, and we played pretty much almost perfectly. I mean, I did say when we were on the stream at half time that we should have had a few more shots to test the keeper. The keeper wasn't really that tested in that first half.
No.
And that I think we've. I will just double check the stats now for that game, because
we had quite a few shots in the end, didn't we? I suppose.
Yeah,
Because
21 shots. 21 shots, and they had and 6 of them on target, whereas they've had 6 and 2 of them on target. So Zinsberger might as well have been on the beach just having a suntan.
Yeah, I mean, she might as well have been, apart from that, obviously that corner that she nearly conceded the goal from. But anyway, ultimately, you know, we deserved to win that game, there's no doubt, and we won it pretty convincingly in the end. I mean, I was desperate for the second goal to go in just so that we could breathe a little bit more comfortably, because we saw one set piece from Tottenham almost got them a goal, and while it was 1-0, there was always that possibility. They scored from a set piece against Chelsea twice, actually, didn't they? So it was always out in the back of my mind thinking, you know, let's get the second goal, let's get it done, and then we can, you know, as it turned out, they did get a set piece at the end, a penalty, which they missed anyway, fortunately, and even though they made a much difference at that point. We've got a couple more comments in. Ryan from the Mr. Arsenal podcast. Evening, everyone. Evening, mate. How you doing? Hope you're well. Loki as well. Good evening to you as well, mate. Hope you're well. Tom says it was a great night, to be fair. I lost my voice. Longest train journey home. Still 3 points. We go again Sunday. Exactly, yeah. No, it sounded like a great night. I couldn't obviously have got down for it. Should have been at the original, because me and Andrea should have both been at the original one. But anyway, Ryan says, yeah, showed Chelsea too much respect, if you ask me, and wanted to make it easy for Chelsea. I don't know if they wanted to make it easy for Chelsea. I thought they gave Chelsea 2 good games, actually. Both games against Chelsea. I thought they played better against Chelsea than they did against us. Against us, they didn't play at all. Against Chelsea, at least they gave it a go, and they were unlucky, certainly in one of those. In the second game, they were quite unlucky, weren't they? They equalised just for half-time and then conceded straight away. So I thought they gave it a good go again. I don't think we could have asked any more from Tottenham in those 2 games against Chelsea, because they played against them, and they was quite unlucky not to have maybe got something in one of them games. But they didn't play anywhere near like that against us. I wouldn't say they didn't roll over against us, but they certainly didn't play the football that they played in them other 2 games. They didn't try to play football at all, really. But ultimately, the main point was that, you know, we got the job done, and yes, we could have scored a few more goals. But I agree with Matt. We had a lot of space for that. I mean, they backed off Beth, didn't they, for that first goal? She just ran it and they backed off, and they were made to pay. The third goal from Kate, and a great finish it was, but she had so much time to control the ball, look up and curl it in. It was, you know, she shouldn't have had that much time if you're looking at it from a defensive point of view. But, you know, we don't care too much about that. And the second goal as well, I mean, that short corner caught them out, and it was a nice bit of play from Viv, and an easy finish at the far post. So we got the job done, and that was the only thing I was really worried about. Yes, it would have been nice to have beaten them 8-0 or something like that, like we did on Sunday, scored a lot of goals, but it doesn't matter. We won 3-0, we got the 3 points, and that was the only thing that really mattered in that game. So there was a lot of positives from it. I mean, obviously, you know, it wasn't maybe the sort of crowd number that we would have hoped for. And I say, had it been played originally on a weekend, I'm sure it would have been a lot more than that. But I mean, 13,000 is it doesn't maybe make the club want to keep putting games on there, because I'm sure it costs a lot of money to use the Emirates, and only 13,000 maybe isn't quite enough if that's all we're getting, because we only got about that last time, didn't we, for the Barcelona game as well, and it was even less for Wolfsburg. I mean, what do you think they can do, Andreas, to try to encourage? Because obviously Barcelona managed to sell their stadium out. I know it's a different situation, but what do you think Arsenal can do when they do use the Emirates, which they say they're going to do it more next season? What can they do to get more fans to come to these games? Because the tickets are reasonably cheap anyway, so it's not like they can reduce the prices necessarily. What else do you think they should do to be able to get more people to come? Because it's difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very difficult. But it was a match on a Thursday evening, so I think 13,000 is okay for a Thursday evening. It's difficult to say. I heard that Barcelona had such things like buy one ticket and get another free, and so it's I don't know. There must be ideas to convince people to go to the Emirates and watch women's football who normally go to the men's football, because the 2,000 or 3,000 who go to Meadow Park, they go to the Emirates as well. But that's not enough. We need more people who normally go to the men's games. And yeah, it will be difficult next season. We all hope that our men's team qualifies for the Champions League. But if they do, then there will be Tuesday and Wednesday Champions League matches in the Emirates. And it's difficult to say. Then go on Saturdays or Sundays to the women's game when they go to the men's game every 2 weeks, and to Champions League matches during the week. I have no real idea what to do. But anyway, I mean, 12 or 30,000 is okay. This, if we always have this would be good compared to 3,000 at Meadow Park.
No, of course it would, yeah. But I suppose it's probably cheaper to hold a game at Meadow Park than to hold a game at the Emirates and stuff like that. So that's got to be weighed up. But I mean, I think that you make a good point there about, obviously we're trying to attract more of the men's crowd into the women's game, and that's what we need to do. But then the TV scheduling doesn't help with that, does it? When they play the games like on Sunday, the Aston Villa game, the Arsenal game, the men's game was straight after, so you couldn't go to both even if you wanted to. This Sunday is exactly the same. They've got the men's game straight after the women's game, so you can't go to both even if you wanted to. And I do think the TV scheduling has got to be looked at for next season, because that is the way to increase the crowds at the women's game. You've got to get the men's fans to come along as well. You've got to get some of those to come to help boost the crowds. And the only way to do that is to make it accessible for those fans to be able to go to the game by looking at when they start, when the kickoff times are. And unfortunately, the last couple of weeks in particular, it's happened before throughout the season, hasn't it? You know, the men, that sometimes the games even overlap, the kickoffs have overlapped. So one game's still going on when the other one's starting. It's ridiculous. They've got to look at that. Sky, you know, I'm sure, you know, the women's game is going to be grateful for the money that Sky bring in. And that's great. And it's going to help in lots of other ways. But ultimately, Sky have got to take responsibility for this. Look at the scheduling and make sure that people can get to watch the men's team. This is not just Arsenal. This is for all of the teams in the Premier League, because it's the same problems for other teams as well. It's not just Arsenal that have suffered, and they need to look at that and try to separate the games enough so that people can get to both games. Because you don't want to play a game in an empty stadium, because even if it's on TV, it spoils it. We saw that in the lockdown, didn't we? Football's not the same when there's not a crowd in to make an atmosphere, and you need that. And Sky should be trying to encourage that by making sure. And maybe next season they'll look at that. They need to. They don't tend to care much about fans, do they? I mean, Matt, obviously you were there on Wednesday, so you were sort of able to sample the atmosphere. What do you think is needed to get more people to go when the games are at the Emirates? Because they say there's going to be more next season, but as Andreas says, with the Champions League, you know, who knows when they're going to schedule them all in? It's going to be hard. But what do you think the club should do now to, when the next game's at the Emirates next season, to try and get 20,000 or something like that to come? Because I think that's what we need. If they're going to play them there, I think 20,000 is what we need. Really, that should be the starting point, shouldn't it?
Yeah, and I think first of all, the marketing team need to sit down, think about what worked and what didn't work, and then go from there. There's no point in turning around and going, say the Emirates Cup is back and it's Bayern Munich and women versus Arsenal women, and Bayern Munich men versus the Arsenal men. I don't think that anyone would really want to stick around for the Arsenal women's game, because there's not much going for it. Sorry, Andreas, I know you're a Bayern Munich fan. I'm just taking it as an example. But they need to make sure that they're advertising, and the Women's Euros are coming around the corner. And yet I see Facebook adverts left, right, and centre. These are getting involved with it, trying to say, by the way, there's Women's Euros. Panini, by the way, the sticker albums are coming out in a few more days. They've got something is always in the works, and it's all right. Stopwatch from work. Sorry. Telling all the kids when to go home, basically. Just they need to look at themselves and how they did. If they can get a North London derby that was supposed to be, let's say, as Tom's mentioned in one of his comments, that could have been quite easily 20 over 20,000. people in
Yeah, I mean,
that stadium.
Tom said here 13,000. He said it's really good. I mean, it's not bad, but I'll kind of that sort of game should get more. Let's be honest, and it would. And you're right. He said Newcastle was a Saturday lunchtime, and had it been on the original date, I bet we would have beaten. That was the 22,000 that was at that Newcastle game last week. It's not cheap per se. More so if you go. Now, of course, it's not. Yeah, and obviously the other night wasn't really a family ideal for families, was it? Played on an evening, but I mean, I think Newcastle as well. It was the first time they'd ever played at St James's Park. So I think there was a lot of novelty interest as well. And a lot of people came for that reason. Can they get 22,000 if they played them at St James's Park every week in the third tier of women's football? No, I wouldn't have thought they can. We've got the opportunity to get big crowds, haven't we? Because we're the biggest club in women's football. And if we're going to play at one of the best stadiums, it'll be the biggest stadium in the WSL. We need to be able to get more people in and through the door. And that's what we need to try and do. Yeah, I think 20,000 should be where we should be looking at if we're going to play the games there. And I think that would be a good crowd. It would generate a good atmosphere. And I think that's where we need to maybe go. I mean, Tom said that he would wait around for the game. Yeah. Maybe play the women's game first to encourage people to get in the ground earlier. Play the women's game first and then the men's game after. I mean, I don't know whether it works because they did it pre-season, didn't they? And it didn't really work. Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the way. Maybe just schedule on different days.
Wasn't it COVID issues as well that because they were reducing the capacity? Get a certain amount in the stadium. Just as well is I'm just thinking, you know what, Southampton as well. They had the FA Cup game against Bristol City at St Mary's, a Euros venue, and they got around 6,000 fans in that stadium. They went on to play Portsmouth in the derby. They got around roughly 10,000 in that stadium again. So there is a demand for it. And they're in a playoff final, and that's against Wolverhampton. That's going to be over in Edgeley Park, Stockport County's ground. And I think that's only got about 5,000 capacity. It's not good enough. It needs to be better across the board. You can't turn fans away on the door at the last minute and go, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't come to this game because we're sold out." I know, Richard, you've spoken about it that you used to be able to just pay on the day and things like that. My dad used to go to Arsenal and so did my mum, and even at Barnet and places like that where you could just turn up and on the day. Oh, by the way, you can come in, or you would get shut out, and that was nothing you could do. It's just one of those things that we need to look at now and go, right, if we want this sort of atmosphere, we need to make sure that there's something unique about it. It has to be different. It can't be the same. It's pretty much like a marketing campaign. You got to make sure that your product is different than the original. What makes the original different to this new flavor? That's the only thing I can think of. And
you're right.
There's so many different selling points. The fact that you've got world-class stars arriving left, right, and centre who are willing to take their time, take photos, sign things, give out little boot. Steph Catley's giving her boots out every match day, as far as I'm concerned, and she's signing contracts. That Ryan's made a good point as well. I think that is an ideal target right there.
Ryan says there are free tickets to local primary schools for the kids and just really promote life. No, it does need more promotion. I think free tickets for kids in local schools is a great idea because then they'll be nagging their parents to go, and that will bring more people in, won't it? They should have done that for this game, really. But anyway, promoting it is what they need.
It kind of reminds me of when I was at Southampton in the Saints Foundation. Every single program, they used to give out free tickets to one of the Southampton matches just to get people through the door. And it's things like that would probably help a little bit more. I mean, Boreham Woods is a fantastic stadium, don't get me wrong, but it eventually we're going to outgrow it. I know you mentioned about perhaps building a new stadium. I know we talked about, for God's sake, stupid thing. Right. This is one of the things that I'm looking at, and they're talking about women's only facilities. Well, maybe that is the future, having our own stadium, but it can't be like the Academy Stadium. That's an 8,000 capacity stadium. It has to be bigger. It has to be better. It has to be ready. I mean, Barcelona.
we would need to be at a situation where we knew that we could get those fans in every week. At the moment, Meadow Park's getting 2,000 possibly average attendance for most of the games, and obviously when they do a game at the Emirates, we're getting more people in. So there is the interest there, and I agree. If we're going to build a separate stadium, then it'd have to have at least 25,000 capacity, wouldn't it, to be able to grow? But at this point in time, we're not going to fill a 25,000 stadium every week, are we? We're not in that at this point yet. Hopefully we will be in a few years' time. The extra money that comes in, the more promotion. But I agree, it's got to be promoted more in the local community. It's got to be. And yeah, maybe free tickets is a good way to do that as well. But I think naturally over the next few years with the TV and stuff like that, I do think that it's going to naturally grow anyway. I think the attendances will grow, and I think we will grow out of Meadow Park. I think it'll get to a point where Meadow Park will be sold out every single game, and there'll be people that can't get tickets and wanting to go. And I think that's when we'll have to move. I know the agreement's till 2024. I've got a feeling by that point it may have got to a point where Meadow Park is too small for what we need, and we will have to move, perhaps to the Emirates, and that'll be great if that can happen. But it is going to take time, isn't it? It's going to take time to get to that point, but we'll see how it goes. But it is good that they've played four games this season at the Emirates. I think it is, isn't it? The Chelsea, Barcelona, Wolfsburg, and Tottenham. So 4 in one season is a step forward, isn't it? Let's be honest. And they were all pretty well attended, apart from the Wolfsburg game. 5,000 wasn't great, but all the others were well attended. 12, 15,000 between that, wasn't it, for all of them? So that's not bad. It's a good starting point. Let's hope next season that can happen more and we can get more in. It'd be lovely to have 25,000, 30,000, wouldn't it, at the Emirates watching the Arsenal women? Wouldn't that be great? The girls deserve it, let's be honest. The football that they play and how well they're doing, they deserve that, and it'd be great if we could do that. But I'm not sure quite yet if that's going to happen. But a bit more, a bit more promotion from the club. Who knows? It may well happen. But I mean, yeah, it is good that it is growing. But maybe we're trying to make it. Maybe we're trying to run before we can walk with it. Maybe it needs to be more of a gradual process, getting more people involved, getting more people interested in watching it, and hopefully it will get to that point. But I mean, at the end of the day, it was good that they've had more games at the Emirates this season. They've all been good games. We haven't won them all, but we've done okay. There's been a couple of decent games. Chelsea was great. Tottenham was great. I enjoyed the Wolfsburg game, even though we didn't win. We don't want to talk about the Barcelona game too much, do we? Because that was a bit of a lesson on that particular night. But these things happen. Terry's joined us as well. He says Richard Andreas and MMM77. And don't call me God, I embarrass. Easy evening, everyone in the chat. Yeah, doing Terry. Good to see you, mate. Hope you are well. It wasn't quite 10-1 the other night, was it? But we won, and that was the main thing. It's been, although obviously that was an important game on Wednesday, it's been quite a busy week behind the scenes. There's been a couple of little contracts actually that's been signed. I'm not going to dwell too much on the fact that Mikel Arteta got a new contract as well. But certainly, I was delighted that Jonas was given one today, extended till 2024, and I think that that's good because it's his first year. We can see how the progress that we've made quite clearly. We're in the title race down to the last day of the season. We've been a little bit unfortunate in a couple of other competitions as well, and we've got the opportunity now, the next 2 years at least, to start to build something sustainable now for the future and get back to winning trophies again, which is what Arsenal women have always been about. I mean, not only young school, Steph Catley signed her new contract as well, so she's staying with us as well, which is good news. I know I've sometimes been a little bit critical of her defensively at times, but she's had a good season. There's no doubt about that. She's a good player, and I'm glad that she's signing on. Might mean Caitlin stays as well. She might sign as well, but we'll see. I mean, Andreas, what have you made of that? It's good news, isn't it? We're getting some deals done early on now, and hopefully there'll be a few more to be announced in the next week or so. Hopefully, I mean, it's good news, though, isn't it?
Yeah, this were two good news, and there were a lot of criticism against Jonas, especially in December, January, when the team had problems. But he said it himself. He was new in the league, new in the country with his family. He had to settle, and he said he had to learn a lot, and he learned. Now he knows the WSL, the system, everything better. He knows the other teams, and I think we can see a development of the team. And this is the most important for a new coach. When you see he settles in, he gets used to everything, and then he develops the team. He developed players. There are a lot of players in our squad who have a much better season this year than they had last season. They developed, they grew, and this is due to Jonas. He has a clear idea what he wants to play, I think, and so he has clear plans which players he needs for his system and he wants to bring in. So there were good signings in the winter transfer window, and I'm sure he has a clear plan whom he wants to bring in summer. So I was astonished that he had only signed for 1 year, and it's good that he stays for 2 more years to get on with this development. And once again, you see that he's building something and that he made players better. Beth Mead has the best ever season for the Arsenal. Caitlin has a fantastic second half of the season. Steph Catley, she was growing and developed. So he has a clear plan, and it's good that he's given more time. Of course, we all want to win trophies. We want to win the league, and it could happen on Sunday that we end the season without any trophies. But we said this in the last weeks. It was a really good season. We made progress. We had a better season than the last 2 years. And so I think it was the right decision to give Jonas more time. Let's see what he does in the transfer window, how much money they will give him, and which players he can bring in. And I'm sure next season we will be competitive for all titles. And the new contract for Steph Catley, I'm happy about this, because I think this season she was injury-free, and you could see how she was growing in the team. Her delivery of set pieces, of corners, is extraordinary, and she brings a lot for the offensive part. Of course, she made mistakes in the defense, but she is one of those players who developed during the season and who was better and better in the second half of the season. So I think it was a really good decision that she stays. It's good for her. So she's in the competitive league, and she's thinking of the World Cup next year in her country. So she must play in the best league and the most competitive league in Europe, I think, is the WSL. So it's a win-win situation for Steph and for the club.
I agree. I mean, I agree. Yeah. I mean, yes. I think she has grown into the season. Actually, I think she's got better and better as it's gone on. And in fact, she's been really consistent. Again, a bit like Caitlin Foord. Actually, since the Asia Cup, she's been really consistent with her performances. She's improved a lot. She's still, defensively, I've got a little 1 or 2 concerns, but ultimately, she has had a good season, definitely, really consistent season. And I'm pleased she signed a contract, and hopefully it might mean that Caitlin does as well, because I think she's an important player for us going forward, and hopefully they'll stay together for another season or another couple of seasons, hopefully. But yeah, that was good as well. But yeah, I mean, obviously Jonas, I'm delighted that they've, I think he only got a year's contract maybe just to see how it went, perhaps, make it open. So if it didn't work, it would have been easy just to replace him. But obviously it's worked. We can see that, as you said, we've had a much better season in the last 2 seasons. You can see exactly like you mentioned, the players have improved, certain players have improved. You can see the style of plays evolved really quickly, hasn't it? So this pressing style, it's good to watch. It's exciting football. We score a lot of goals with 1 or 2 defensive errors that we need to work on, and I'm sure we will. But yeah, I think it's great that we've now, everybody can be settled for the next 2 years, and we can hopefully start to enjoy, 2 seasons like this one, just hopefully with a little bit of silverware at the end as well to enjoy it, to cap it all off, because that's the only thing that's missing from this season. We still might get it, yeah. We'll talk about the weekend in a minute, but as things stand, we might end up with nothing, which would be a shame. I mean, Matt, what was your kind of thoughts on the Jonas contract issue? I mean, it's strange timing in a way because we've still got one game left, but it's maybe a relief to get it over and done with, so everyone can just focus on Sunday now, maybe.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure when they announced him arriving, they didn't actually say how long the contract would be.
No, they didn't.
I think the fact that because he was untested, because he didn't know the WSL, there was like a chance that it wouldn't have worked. But he's done amazing. And his energy and his drive and the way he handles himself, not just with the girls, with the fans, with the support staff as well, the way he comes across, he's a genuine, likable person. Yeah. And although you've got on the other end of the spectrum, you've got Emma Hayes, who's very Marmite or Vegemite, should I say, so that Andreas sort of kind of understands that either you like her or you don't. It's pretty much with that.
No, I disagree with that. I don't think anybody likes her, but we just respect her because of what she's done. Nobody likes her, surely. Come on, no one likes her. Not even the players like her, but they just accept her because she keeps winning them trophies, so they don't mind.
I think Jonas, like Andreas was saying, Jonas has built the confidence back in the team, and it's like, right, okay, if this is what you've done in one season, what can you do in season 2? I would hate to say it, but imagine this is the if we don't finish off with the trophy, this is the first season ever I've been an Arsenal fan, and I thought, you know what, I've actually enjoyed the rides. I've enjoyed it throughout the season. The women's haven't been a distraction for me. They haven't been my joy, my heart, my soul. They've just been on that roller coaster from that very first game, heart in our mouth, Beth Mead winning it last minute at the Emirates, all the way down to this game coming on Sunday. It's been just brilliant to watch and see these players grow. Beth Mead, another example that's developed so well. Caitlin Ford couldn't hit the barn door at the start of the season. Now she's banging them in for fun against Tottenham. It's fantastic to see these girls grow. And Leah Walty wasn't one of my favourite players when I started watching, but as soon as I started watching her during that first game, I was thinking, yeah, I really like how she plays. And although she wasn't confident in herself at the time, I saw what she brought to the team. And you see things, especially Kim Little, you don't see a lot of her unless you go to the games. If you go to the games, you can understand what she's about. And she's a player that is... she's almost like a diamond in the rough. That's the only way I could really describe her. The way Leah brought herself together, the way she was charging forward as well in that Tottenham game, she might as well just had a shot because she was just charging through them like there was nothing, and they weren't even bothered. I don't know if they thought it was just fantastic to see these girls, and they just bring me so much joy. And even I'm going to bring up the Birmingham incident with the one guy, just arguing with everyone, saying that and abusing the players, the fans, both sets of players and the referees, and just all the fans at the end. As soon as they come over and applauded, and Katie trying to bring Manu back, and Viv, who'd stormed off because they had a bad game, it just showed that the team wanted to give something back to the fans. And when we charged Arsenal at them, there was sort of an appreciation of, thank you, we know we haven't done our best here, but we'll go again in the next game. And this is something that we love to see, and we want to see it more consistently. If you can't win us the game, at least have the faith to turn around and sort of be apologetic about the performance. We don't want to see, like in the men's game, some people gone hiding and haven't sought media attention. They've only done it for their own cause. Whereas I'm sure in every I've just seen Loki's comment. just every game this season has been enjoyable and it's been a great experience watching it from start to finish. Even though we haven't, even if it's losing to Barcelona, I was still happy watching that game. Even though there was probably 2 games that we'll both recall that were not the best games, the Birmingham game and the FA Cup final, but it was just fantastic that we've had this journey, and I'm so glad that Jonas can take the next steps. He might have this might be his 3-year plan. It won't be a 5-year plan. It might be a 3-year plan, and by that time, it might be get to a semi-final of the Champions League and maybe even meet or reach the final of the Champions League. Maybe next season we're gonna try and get to the final of the FA Cup, win the FA Cup, try and mount another challenge, and try and go for the Conti Cup next season. It's just growing, and I'm just looking at the WhatsApp group for the Women's Supporters Club. It's growing literally by day, and that shows you how much love there is for this team at the moment, and they just got to keep going.
No, there is, and I agree with you. I mean, it has been a joy. As Terry says, they're spot on, Matt. I think we all feel the same. Terry says the girls seem to have a lot of confidence in Jonas. Yeah, they do. They certainly seem to, and that's you can see in the way that they've been playing. And Loki did say there, how did they lose at Birmingham? And that is going to be one of the great mysteries of the season, because that was just an unlike Arsenal performance, wasn't it? Which didn't play as we've played all season in that one game. Yes, the FA Cup final, you could say we didn't either, but Chelsea are a good team. And you can maybe understand that sometimes you're going to play a good team like Barcelona and you're not always going to be able to play your game. But at Birmingham, we definitely let ourselves down. Everybody did on that day. We know that. And I don't know how that happened. We had a few injuries at the time. We had a few people missing. We couldn't fill the bench and stuff like that. But ultimately, we don't know how we lost to Birmingham, but we did. And unfortunately, that it looks like it's going to be our only defeat, assuming we don't lose on Sunday. So, that's frustrating. But you're never going to go through a season and play well every single game. You're always going to have some poor performances along the way. And we've had one or two, as we mentioned, a couple of others where we didn't maybe play as well as we could have done. But ultimately, it's been a good season. It has been enjoyable. I agree. The football we've played has been great to watch. And I think we've all been able to see exactly the direction that we've been heading in all season from the start. We've been top of the league for such a long time. And I suppose it'd be disappointing now if it doesn't happen for us on Sunday, but we'll see what happens there. But, I agree. I'm glad Jonas has got another 2. I mean, you say it's a 3-year plan, Matt, but ultimately it could be a 5-year plan. If the next 2 years go well, I'm sure they'll extend it again at that point, won't they? They're bound to. If things are going well and we're winning games and he's winning trophies and stuff, then I'm sure he'll stay even longer. But it's good that he's got that time now, hasn't he? He can forget that now. Maybe this first year is a little bit difficult. Like we said, he's a new country, a new league. He only had a 1-year contract, a little bit uncertainty. But ultimately, now he can settle. He knows he's got at least 2 years, and he can really start to make these plans for the next 2 seasons at least to move us forward. And hopefully, if it goes as well as this season, it's going to be exciting, isn't it? There's no doubt about that. It's going to be at least a couple more exciting years to come, which is great. We look forward to that. But this season isn't over yet. It's not over yet. It's there is one more game. It's the final weekend of the WSL. It's been a great season actually all round for the WSL this year. The bottom teams have improved. They're not getting as many hammerings as previous years, and it's been a big battle, hasn't it, at the top as well between us and Chelsea. But it's all going to come down now, as I said at the beginning of the show. 9 months of blood, sweat and tears are going to come down to 90 minutes on Sunday. Where is the title going? So, obviously, I realize our Chelsea are going to be celebrating on Sunday afternoon. It's coming down to the 2 games, isn't it? Chelsea at home to Manchester United. We are, of course, away at West Ham. And basically, we've got to get a better result than Chelsea do. So if Chelsea win, there's nothing we can do. They are going to be champions. But if they don't win, and we do, we're going to be there and take it off them at the last moment, which would be exciting. But it is quite tense already, actually. Although there's 48 hours still to go, I'm starting to feel a little bit tense about it already because it's more excitement though, because we're not really expected to win it now, are we? Let's be honest. Chelsea are massive favourites. They know that if they win that game, they're going to win the title. Yes, Manchester United are a decent team, and it's not going to be an easy game for them. It's probably the most difficult game they could have played, couldn't they, last game of the season? If we wanted them to play anybody, it'd be someone like Manchester United as opposed to a Leicester or an Aston Villa or someone in mid-table with nothing to play for. Man United are a decent team. So it's not a bad game as it fell for us, really, but ultimately it's out of our hands to a certain degree. I mean, Andreas, what do you make of these last this last weekend of the season, these two massive games? Is it going to go our way, do you feel, or are we going to maybe have to unfortunately settle for second place, which would be frustrating, but what can we do?
Yeah, it's the perfect showdown for the title, for the league, for every spectator, and yeah, of course, it's all in Chelsea's hands. They have to win, and then the title is theirs. But so far, nothing is decided, and yeah, the longer the United holds a draw, the more difficult it will be for Chelsea. I mean, everything is possible. It's possible that we draw at West Ham, then it would be totally frustrating if Chelsea plays 1-1 against United and we don't win.
I know, yeah.
So I would say let us win our match at West Ham, and then whatever happens. But I want us to win so that we do our homework, and whatever Chelsea does, if they win 5-0 against United, then they deserve to win the title. But I want us to have the perfect end of the season, and this is winning our match. I'm sure the girls are concentrated, and Jonas will do everything that they only focus on their match. Of course, everybody will try to get information, or will ask the bench
I'm sure the fans will be saying what the score is.
They will watch the reaction of the fans. If there is cheering in the Arsenal corner, then they know something for us positive must have happened at Kingsmeadow. So, but everything is possible. It's possible that City has an early lead at Reading. Then if City is leading 2-3-0 at Reading, then the season is over for United. And
that's my worry. That's going to happen.
Because should they fight for if the third place is gone?
Yeah, exactly. This was my way. This is why I didn't want Man City to win the other night, for this very reason. Because if Man United go in at half time and they say 0-0 with Chelsea or 1-1 with Chelsea, and they hear Man City are winning 4-0, then what motivation have they got in the second half to go the extra miles to hang on to that draw? Chelsea have got the motivation to win the game, and that does concern me. I'm hoping that Man City is still 0-0 at half time, or it's still, or they're losing, or it's not an easy victory for them. So Man United are still in their mind, have got something still to go for and try to win that game. But I mean, a couple of stats that I think is in our favour. Man United have actually only lost 3 games in the WSL this season. One's to us, one's to Chelsea, and one's to Man City. But when they played all of those teams the second time around, they got a draw. So they drew with us, they drew with Man City. Can they now complete that set and draw with Chelsea? Because they've drawn with, they lost those 3, and then they've drawn with the other 2 that they've played since. So they did get a draw at Meadow Park. Let's not forget, away from home against us, they got a draw against us. So they can do it. We know they're capable of beating anybody or getting a result against anyone. So I'm glad they're playing. As I said, I'm glad they're playing a team like Man United. That you feel at least they're capable of giving Chelsea a game, aren't they? We know they are, and who knows that they may be able to do it. But that Man City game does worry me, because Reading are a funny team. Actually, they can be really solid and hard to break down in some games, and in other games they can just fall to pieces. As we saw when we played them both times, we beat them easily, didn't we? We were 3-0 up at half time both games, and the game was over. And I'm hoping that they at least compete with Man City. It was only 2-0 when they played them away, Reading, so maybe they can hold them and it won't be such an easy game. I mean, Matt, what's your kind of thoughts going into this last weekend? Because it's a lot of excitement, a lot of tension, a lot of nerves. I mean, I suppose ultimately, as Andreas rightly says, we've just got to win our game. We can't worry about Chelsea. We can't do anything about that. That their result will go as it goes. We've just got to win our game, and that's what we need to be worried about, isn't it, really?
Yeah, and I think this is the issue when we have the the new smartphones and things like that, you can quite instantly now find out a goal scorer. There's no anticipation, no sitting and waiting for the stadium announcers to read out the scores around the grounds. You can just know in an instant, and then everyone sort of switches off. I'm going in the mindset tomorrow of muting every single WhatsApp group, every single our chat, because I know what Amar's like. He's going on a bit of a commentary run, so it kind of must be a bit of a distraction for you as well, Richard, when you're doing the watch-alongs.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind Omar. He's good. He's good fun. I don't mind. I mean, at the end of the day, I think usually we're really keen to keep updated with what's going on, aren't we?
Yeah.
And that's great. On this particular game, I'm going to actually be watching the Chelsea game as well at the same time, because I want to know what's going on. I personally do. I don't want the players to know. They're going to find out because the fans will let them know. But I'm going to be watching the other game. I'm going to be watching on the other screen, and I'll be paying. That's going to be just as tense seeing that game going on and watching our game at the same time. Yeah. It's going to be quite a strange experience, actually, but it will be good, actually. And I don't think it's going to be possible to avoid what's going on. We're going to know, and I want to know anyway, because I wouldn't be able to sit through 90 minutes of Arsenal knowing that we've won, not knowing how Chelsea have been doing. Chelsea might be 3-0 up, mightn't they, in 10 minutes, and then we don't have to worry about it, do we? But I'm going to be definitely watching both games.
This is the thing, though, is that the way that the WSL started with us against Chelsea, there was drama throughout, and it's kind of a fitting ending to the season. The fact that it comes to such a dramatic end in the first place, so that's important. And I think also the fact that it's not on at the same time as the Championship and the League One and League Two and the Conference and things like that. It's literally our day where we can, for the women's fans to sit and go, there's with the WSL's on, there's no other games going on. We can just sit and watch it. It's on the BBC, it's on the FA Player, it's on Sky, it'll be on Atta Football as well. And I'm sure Andreas will probably rattle off a few more other German channels that will probably have it going on. Is it your last game of the season as well with Bayern Munich, or is that finished now?
No, they have still one more game to play next weekend.
Okay. So it's almost like a little mini break for you.
The league will be decided if Wolfsburg wins on Sunday, and they are 4 points clear. So,
okay. So there might be an additional audience worldwide as well. The fact that I'm going to be there. And this is the first time ever I've gone to an end of season game. So I'm.
You're going on? Did you get a ticket?
Yeah. Melissa got me a ticket, and I managed to get one. So I'm a bit lucky there. I'm happy. So I will be on vlog duty again.
Oh, brilliant! I didn't think you was going. I didn't think you was getting a ticket. Oh, that's fantastic news. That's going to be brilliant.
My intention was always to go to the game at the end of the season, no matter what. And I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be it's going to be a huge celebration no matter what, because we've achieved the ultimate goal. And if I think we were talking earlier on that some of these players haven't signed contracts, if it's their last game, you want to give them a huge send off, don't you? You don't want to be the person that just doesn't give them something to appreciate or look back on the club at the time. I'm sure that there's going to be people out there with loads of gifts. I've got thank you cards for the players, for Jonas, for the backroom staff, and Melissa's got another plan for her favourite player. I haven't got anything planned for Leah because I just think that the whole team deserves to be celebrated because they had such a magical season, and no matter what happens come 90 minutes, I know they're going to give their all. We know they're going to give their all. And just on West Ham, their last home matches, they've lost 3, drawn 1, won 1, scored 5, conceded 9, and then only getting 4 points. So it's not looking good for them. They haven't got Lisa part of the team because she's not eligible to play. She's been influential for that team, playing on that wing. And I'm hoping Jonas might see that in her and maybe perhaps convince her to stay maybe for one more season. But if not, I'm sure West Ham would be would literally just sit down,
I saw. She does a blog, doesn't she, Lisa? And I saw the one this week, and it was obviously she was saying that was her last game of the season for West Ham last week because she can't play against Arsenal, and she was kind of saying it almost gave the impression that she'd be quite happy to join West Ham. She said she's enjoyed it and she's hoping that she can be back there next season. So I actually feel that that's more likely what's going to happen. I think she'll sign for them permanently in the summer, and she'll go to West Ham. I don't think she'll come. I don't think she'll get back in our team, if we're honest. I don't think she's quite at the same level as the other players that we've got who play in her position at the moment, unfortunately. So I think she will go to West Ham permanently. I think she'll ask the club if she can sign permanently for them because she seems really happy there. And from what she said the other day on the video, I definitely got the feeling that that she wants to go there permanently at the end of the season. And good luck to her. I hope she does and she enjoys it because she looks like she's had a great season. She's enjoyed it. And hopefully, and also if she stays in London, then we know the effect that might have on Viv's decision as well. We're kind of hoping that's going to be the case. So I'll be quite happy if she joins West Ham because she hasn't got to move, has she? She can stay where she is and she can still play for West Ham. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a great gesture actually, Matt, because you're right. They deserve something at the end of the season because, whatever happens on Sunday, whether or not we do win the title or we don't, it's been an amazing season and, it's been an enjoyable season for everybody. And yeah, it's going to be, it's a shame because I think the girls deserve something from this season. They deserve to win something. It's a shame we couldn't maybe win the FA Cup or the Continental Cup, whatever it was. But I think we deserve to win something. This is all that's left. And if there's, if fate's on our side, we will win it because I think we deserve to. I think we've been the best team in the WSL this season. And,
Chelsea don't deserve it. It's literally been their miracle on grass for them.
They've struggled, haven't they, to win their last few games. They've got the job done, but they've struggled. They struggled at Birmingham. They struggled to beat Tottenham twice. They've had their difficulties in so many games. Since they smashed Leicester for 9, they've really, really struggled, actually. And we've literally been wiping teams apart in the last 6-7 games. We've just scored goal after goal. We're winning games easily. We've been the best team to watch, and we deserve to win it. And I know it doesn't always work like that, but we are still behind them, unfortunately. But I just feel as though it's our destiny maybe that this season to win this league because of how well we've played all the way through. But ultimately, it's not just down to that, is it? Terry says, give it a lead your heart, Matt. Yeah, no, don't give it completely because you'll need it for next season as well. But they do. You're right. They do deserve a good send off to the season. You're right, and it's great that you'll be doing that as well. Are you staying over there? Or are you staying again? Are you hotel have you got booked or?
No. So what's going to happen is that I'm actually going to be midway, and then Melissa's going to drive me to the game with her and Mum.
Brilliant!
All been arranged. So there's great fans there. Across the board, and I think things like that, simple gestures and things like that, helps the game grow a little bit more. This season, I think we've made so many friends and so many people have gotten on board with it as well. Tom, for example, he's been in the chat tonight. And sorry, hold on. So just sorting out keys and things like that. So again, the fans have sort of been really welcoming, open arms and everything. And I couldn't see that in the men's game. If I'm coming back to it, I don't think I would ever see it, but I'm looking forward to it because every single time that there's a women's game, there's almost like I'm trying to think of the words, but it just fills me with joy. The fact that you could be meeting new people and just talking to them, having a conversation, you won't get people biting back at you and things like that. So it's really nice to see, and it all makes the world a better place for it as well.
No, you're right, and it is a special atmosphere at women's football. And I mean, we were talking about obviously last Sunday when we were at the Aston Villa game that there's a lot of people that don't really understand why people watch the women's game. They don't get it, and the reason why they don't get it is because they've not done it. You've got to experience that atmosphere. You've got to experience what it's like. And yes, if you're expecting it to be like the men's game, it's not going to be because it isn't. It's totally different. And it's all the better for it than the fact that it's different. I quite enjoy both because they're a different experience. And, you've got the men's game for shouting and screaming and getting it all off your chest and jumping around and going mad. And then you've got the women's game to actually be part of that community and feel part of it and enjoy the football for what it is, and all that kind of stuff. And it's great. And it is good that, especially for yourself, Matt, because this season you've been to a lot of games, you've travelled a lot watching the team, which has been brilliant. You've met a lot of people, haven't you? You've made some good friends out of it as well, which is great. And that's been a great thing as well. And like you said, you probably wouldn't have got that if you'd been going to the men's games as much. You wouldn't have found that community as much. And that's great that you have. And it's great that Melissa's giving you. Is she driving you back as well afterwards?
Yeah. Well, she'll be driving me. I'm meeting her halfway in a small little town and then she's going to drive me back after the game, which is because she lives in Leicester, so it's almost like a halfway point for her, and I'll just be getting the train back afterwards. So I'm sure it's going to be a journey that's it's going to be a hell of a journey.
Yeah, it will. It'll be a tiring day that going there and back on the same day, down there and back on the same day.
It'll be very tiring, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah, no. Well, hopefully it'll be really worth it if we actually win the league. You see, trophy at the end.
I mean, Andreas, I know you fly over here for games and things like that. It's worth it, isn't it? Just to come over and see these teams play.
Yeah, it's the pure football. I think when you measure the time, they really play. It's maybe 80 out of 90 minutes, and in the men's game it's maybe 60 minutes. And the other time is acting and lying on the floor and discussing with the referees. And here you have the pure football. Of course, you can't compare them, but you don't compare in other sports. Don't say women's swimming or I don't know. It's different that they are not as fast. No, it's different, and you must see the difference and accept the differences in both sports and see what the women's game is about. It's the familiar atmosphere, and you can see. It's not so fast. So for us spectators, you see a lot more of the technique. I can see some things like the coaches see, but I don't see in the men's game. It's too fast, too much tackling. There is no time to think. And in the women's game, you can think and see everything. So I really enjoyed, and the familiar atmosphere and everything. And for Sunday, once again, I hope that our team wins, and then we should celebrate the girls, and the girls should celebrate their season for themselves. And it would be a shame if they lose the last game. They should win, and then they should celebrate their season, because they played a great season, and whatever happens in the other matches. If we will all celebrate the whole Sunday evening. I think I can't imagine winning the league on Sunday, but if it happens, it would be wonderful. If not, then I will be proud to be a part of this team and to be a part of this development. And I will say all respect to Chelsea if they win the title. Of course, they were struggling in the last matches, but overall, over 22 matches. Yeah, they have a squad depth, a fantastic team. They also deserve this. And whatever team has 1 point more has deserved to win the league.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have, I suppose, but when it's only 1 point after 22 games, that's nothing, is it? It's nothing at all. We're basically the same, aren't we? We're as good as each other. There's no doubt about that. You saw that the 2 league games, we edged it at the Emirates, we drew at their ground. There's been nothing between us all season. And unfortunately, somebody's going to come second, aren't they? Whether it's us or whether it's Chelsea, someone's going to come second, and they're going to be unlucky to come second, aren't they? Whoever comes second, ultimately. But no, you're right. We have to go out in style. We have to win our game, and then if it's enough, it's enough, and that'll be fantastic. And even if it isn't, I agree with you. I think we need to celebrate the season, because it has been a great season, and that should be. I know they'll be disappointed. I'm sure they will if Chelsea have won, and it's not quite enough. But I think, yeah, they do need to. They need to celebrate this season. Terry says in the chat there, the girls should be proud of what they've done this season, whatever. But yeah, of course, that they should. I'm sure they are proud. They might not necessarily feel it straight away if we haven't won the league, but I think they will be proud. And Terry says, yeah, no, Matt, you're lying. He says he's your only friend. No, he's got lots of friends. He's got lots of friends. He's in demand, Matt, actually, at the minute. He's very busy, so he's got a lot going on. But no, you're right. And I hopefully that's what will happen. You know, it might not necessarily. I don't know how they'll feel on Sunday after the game if we win and it's not enough. I don't know how the girls will feel. They'll be so disappointed, I'm sure. But you're right. They should, at some point when they can reflect, I'm sure they will be really, really proud of what they've achieved this season and what they've done. And rightly so, they should be.
If I am right, I believe it's Chelsea's turn to actually have an injury crisis. We had it last season. City had it this season. So Chelsea should be due for the injury crisis next season. So,
well, I mean, Chelsea might have to sell all their players if they've got no money. The club's got no money. They might have to sell them all. So they might not have any players at all, which would be quite a shame, wouldn't it? Well, maybe we can.
Players are leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this, this could be, and maybe Chelsea know that. Maybe this is their last season that they can have success because it's uncertain where their future is at the minute, isn't it, with the club? So, but ultimately, I hope they've won their last league title already, and we're going to win this one, and that'll be that. But
they didn't. You should knock off the COVID one because technically it's.
Well, yeah, they didn't really win that, did they? So they shouldn't really deserve that either. Anyway, Terry says, "Well said, Andreas." Apart from the Chelsea bit, well, no, I mean, ultimately, you have to respect what they've achieved in the game. We have to, don't we? Even though we don't like to admit it, but ultimately, that's the situation, isn't it? They've been the most successful team the last few years, and the fact that we've gone head to head with them all the way through the season is a massive credit to us, isn't it? Because we're a new team technically, aren't we? We've got a new manager, a new team. They've been there, done it before. Emma's been there 10 years. A lot of them players have been there a long time. And the fact that we've gone this close for so long, all the way through the season, is a brilliant achievement. And yeah, I agree. We need to celebrate the season, and I'm sure we'll be able to. I just don't know quite how the players will feel at the end on Sunday, but hopefully they can celebrate themselves because they'll be grabbing that trophy. But we'll have to see. We do need to get a score prediction. I know it's difficult. Andreas, what's your score prediction for our game first? How do you think we'll finish
for our game? I'll say the same as I said for the North London derby. We'll win 3-1. I think we scored 13 goals in the last 3 matches, so we will score goals and. I think we will win, and hopefully there will be another early goal as we had against Spurs. That would help us to calm down in the match and to get pressure on Chelsea. Yeah, okay. So I say 3-1 for us.
Well, 3-1 will be fine. We're quite happy with 3-1. I mean, hopefully that'll be enough. I mean, Matt, I don't know what to ask you really, but we will anyway. What's your prediction for our game first of all?
You know what?
Be careful what you say, though. Be careful what you predict because we know what it's like.
I'll go for a draw. I was going in my head. You know what? If I go for a loss, but I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I don't know if that's a good idea because last time you went 1-0, it finished 1-0, didn't it?
No, I said 1-0 for this top one as well in Tottenham.
No, you changed your mind, didn't you? Do you remember? We made you change your mind because you said 1-0 and then you changed it, didn't you, to Tottenham winning?
Well, no, because Harry was complaining, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. So you changed it, didn't you? So if you'd gone 1-1, it would have probably finished 1-1 because every time you say 1-1, it ends up 1-1. So don't say 1-1.
1-0 West Ham then.
Yeah, that's better. Good. That's what we want to hear. We want to hear 1-0 West Ham from
then all it's over. Just imagine we lose 1-0 to West Ham and United wins at Kings Meadow.
That would be
terrible.
That would be terrible. Terry's gone with a rather conservative 8-0. It's a little bit conservative for you, Terry. I'm surprised you haven't gone like 12-1 or something like you. I don't think it will be 8-0. Okay, I mean, I think we'll beat West Ham just because I think West Ham are just, their season's done and dusted. Lisa can't play, as we said. I think we'll win. We scored a lot of goals lately, as Andreas rightly said. We're not conceding too many. I think another clean sheet's on the card. I'm going to go 4-0 on the basis that another little stat I found out. Every time we've won the first game this season 4-0 against a team, we've scored at least 4 in the second game, which was against Reading, against who was the other one? Leicester, and obviously Aston Villa. And we won 4-0 in the second game against Reading. We won 5-0 against Leicester and 7-0 against Aston Villa. So I think we'll score at least 4 because we've done that this season when we won 4-0 the first game. So I'm going to go 4-0 again. And I think Viv might score them all. Then she'll catch up with Sam Kerr for the Golden Boot as well. So that'll be nice. Although actually I'd quite like Leah Williamson to get the goal that wins us the lead. But there you go. But yeah, I think we'll win 4-0. I think it won't be comfortable. I think we'll get a couple of late goals to seal it, but I think we'll win 4-0. I suppose we need to look at what Chelsea will do then. Andreas, what are you predicting for Chelsea? Terry has gone bold. He's gone 3-1 Man U. There you go. That's what we like to see. What are you thinking, Andreas? Can Man United do it? Can they do us not so much do us a favour, do themselves a favour, but do you think they can get a result?
Yeah, it's difficult, but and it also depends on the match Reading versus City, I'm sure. United will be motivated and they know they have a chance, but they have a small chance. They also know that normally City has a good run and will win their away match. So as long as it's still open for United, the door is still open for United, they will do everything and fight for every ball, for every centimeter on the pitch. Let's hope it will be an open match at Reading, and then my honest feeling is that Chelsea will win. But we must keep the hope, and if they win, then all is over. So yeah. As an Arsenal fan, I must say they will draw. It will be 1-1, and it will be a very tough match, nail-biting match for all of us on TV. And to be optimistic, I say it will be 1-1 at Kings Meadow.
That would be nice. That's what we'd like to see, wouldn't we? We would love a nice draw there, and obviously we win. That would be great. Terry then says, "Oh, we beat Spurs 4-0, didn't we, Max?" I don't know if you saw Max's blog. It was quite funny actually because he said we'd won 4-0, and then he said Caitlin Ford scored 2, Beth Mead scored 1. He couldn't remember who scored the other one. I'm thinking because no one else scored. That was it. It was 3-0. It was just done 3 goals. That's why he couldn't remember. But apart from that, it was a great vlog actually. Terry says, "Sorry about it, just slipped out." Yeah, it was funny though. But it did kind of make it even better actually. And Terry says Viv is going to score 6 and get the Golden Boot. Well, she may well do. Hope so. Be nice, wouldn't it? I'm not sure if she will get 6, but anyway, that would be the WSL record. So go on then, Matt. What are you saying? Chelsea, Man United. What are you saying? Because
I was just looking at it, and Chelsea won that last game 6-1.
But that was early in the season, wasn't it? Really early in the season.
It was match day 3, so the 26th of September. Yeah. I think that
we beat Man City 5-0 that weekend as well, you know. So.
Yeah. See now, everything I say goes wrong anyway. So if I say Chelsea 3-0, then that's not going to happen. So Chelsea 3-0.
Okay, now that's we'll take that. That sounds all right. We'll take that from your prediction. That's good. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I must admit, my head tells me Chelsea will probably win, unfortunately. But I don't want them. I don't want to believe they're going to win. I mean, I think Man United are capable of getting a result there. I really do. I think they could well get a draw, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But yes, the more likely result would be Chelsea winning. But I'm gonna go with Andreas. I'm gonna go 1-1. I'm gonna put my faith in Manchester United to do it, not only for us but for them. It won't be enough for them, of course, to draw anyway. Even if Man City lose, they still need to win. I don't think they're quite good enough to beat Chelsea away from home. But the pressure is on Chelsea, as Terry said there, Chelsea won't be here next season, so this is their swan song season. Well, it might be. So that it puts even more pressure on, doesn't it? You know, they've got massive pressure. And what I would love it if they don't win the league, just simply because I think it was it the game against Tottenham? Or was it last week at Birmingham? I heard some Chelsea fans singing something about they were the champions. And it's like, well, don't get excited yet. The season's not over. So I'd quite like to. They don't win it, so it will make them feel a bit silly for singing that they were champions before they're actually champions. So that would be quite good. But yeah, I must admit, I probably deep down I expect Chelsea to win actually, just because that's what they've done in the last few weeks. Even when they've not played particularly well, they've found a way to win, haven't they? And when it comes down to it, they know they've got to win this game, and they'll probably find a way to do it one way or the other. But we can hope, and I'm gonna be hoping that Man United can do us a favour, but I'm not expecting necessarily. Terry says there, you will be doing the show next week with you. Stars all involved. Yeah, we're hoping to get everybody on next week, because what we're going to do, what I want to do next week is kind of do a review, looking back on the season, maybe giving out some awards like, player of the season and stuff like that, most improved player and all these kind of stuff, match of the season, goal of the season, all these kind of stuff. So I hopefully Amar should be back. Should be back next week. I don't know whether Harry will be able to come on. Let's hope he can. But we will try to. We'll go through like season awards and stuff like that, and go for a season review. Shall be a special one next week, which would be really good actually. So hopefully we've got something good to enjoy from Sunday as well, with a little trophy to parade and show us all as well, which would be great. But we'll see what happens. I mean, are we really looking forward to the vlog then, Matt, on Sunday? That's going to be really good, isn't it? Regardless of whether or not we win the league. But imagine if we do, getting some footage of them lifting the trophy up. That would be fantastic, won't it? That would be just great. But either way, it's going to be a great day. A very tense day, I'm sure, but it's going to be a great day. I just hope that Chelsea don't go 3-0 up in the first 10 minutes, and then it's all over, and it'll make the day a completely damp squid, won't it, for everybody? And we know they're capable of doing that, but hopefully that won't happen. It'd be ideal. The ideal scenario is that Chelsea aren't winning when we're going into the last 10 minutes of the game. We're winning and they're not winning. At least it's going to be exciting and tense and stuff like that, isn't it? And then, no doubt Chelsea will still score at the last minute and win it. But anyway, let's hope they don't. But I'd rather it be like that than Chelsea walk away with it early on in the game, and then it's going to be very flat, isn't it? So let's hope that. Oh, look, we've got a very special guest coming on this. Look at that. Fantastic.
Chelsea was nearly through in group stage of the Champions League. They only needed a draw in Wolfsburg, and they lost 4-0. So everything is possible.
And the final of the Continental Cup as well, they're winning 1-0 at half-time, lost 4-1.
Yeah, against Man City, they were ahead and lost. So everything is possible, and let's keep the hope. And if we really win the title, we should do a special on Monday evening, just 50 or 30 minutes, just celebrating.
Actually, that's a really good idea. Should we do it? Because then Harry better come as well, because he's better on a Monday, isn't he, Harry? It's a better night for him. Actually, that's a good idea. I think what we will do is that's brilliant. If we win the league on Sunday, on Monday night we will do a special champions show. We'll all come on. We'll have a celebration of winning the title, and then on Friday we'll do the proper show of the season review. That's a great idea, Andreas. Actually, I like that. We'll do that definitely if we win. If we don't win, we'll be upset, so we'll be able to do it on Monday. But if we win the league on Monday, we'll do a Monday night special of celebrating the title. Get everyone on. Harry and come on, Emma, everyone who's been on the show. Anyone else who maybe wants to come on as well. What I might do is I might put the link to the show in the chat. So anyone who wants to jump on and celebrate with us will be able to do that. That's a great idea, actually. We'll do that on Monday if we win. So it makes it even better. So now, even more reasons to do it. And as Terry says there, as George Michael said, you've got to have faith. Yeah, I wouldn't really listen to too much to George Michael, but yeah, you're right. You have got to have faith. And we have got faith still. I'll have faith until it becomes mathematically impossible anymore that we can't do it, which hopefully won't be until late on in the game on Sunday, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it is going to be tense, and who knows? At the end of the day, as Jonas said, didn't he, the other day, that the point of it is to be involved in these moments in football, to be involved in the title race on the last day with a chance of winning. That's all you can hope for, really, isn't it? Yes, in an ideal world, you've already won it, and it's great, but if not, you want to be involved. You've got an opportunity to still win it on the last game of the season. You can't really ask for much more than that. And that's what we've got. We need to grab that opportunity, win our game, and then hope and pray that the result elsewhere goes our way as well. Terry says there, Matt, you have to sing to one of the girls live on your vlog. That will top the season. Well, maybe if we win the league, that should happen. Maybe if we win it, maybe sing to.
I'll have to.
Sing to somebody. But actually, talking about singing that stuff, I forgot about that. We've got to do this before we finish, haven't we? So obviously, yes, I've nearly forgot that actually, because the excitement of Sunday was taken over. But of course, we can't finish a show without Matt's chant of the week. I'm sure it's going to be a good one. Did you pick any up from the Emirates on Wednesday?
No one seemed to be really singing them. What really kind of frustrated me was that they were playing good old Arsenal, but I couldn't hear it. So I think the stadium needs to sort out its audio, which was one of the problems, wasn't it, when they were doing like a checklist of things that need to be sorted out.
Yeah, they were. That was one of the things. Yeah, you're right. It was. But yeah,
but you could hear it on the commentary, which was really weird.
But you couldn't hear it.
I couldn't hear it in the stadium.
Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't it? I wonder why that was. Maybe the speaker you were near wasn't working very well. You could hear Sweet Carolina. That was good. When you got it on the video, that was good. I enjoyed that. Sweet Carolina. That sounded good, actually.
I'm glad I kind of did, because it was just to get that atmosphere and just to get you some sort of experience of what you're getting with the WSL as well.
Yeah, that was good. Actually, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. Right, okay, then. So let's go. Matt, do you want music this week, or are you okay about music? It's up to you.
I've got two, so I'll do one without and one with.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Right. Do the one without first. Then this is going to be Matt's first chart of the week. I'm sure it's going to be good. Don't get the words wrong. Make sure you're ready.
Oh, let's get that. There we go. Good old Arsenal, I'm proud to say that name. While we sing this song, we'll win the game. Good old Mido, we're proud to sing that name. While we sing this song, she'll assist again.
That's brilliant. That's a little take on the same old Arsenal song, of course, from the was that 1971 that originally came out, didn't it? I think for the 71. That was good. That enjoyed that. Right, okay, that was good. What sort of music do you need for this next one? Then?
What music we've got. I'll try the poppy again. It keeps on being the poppy one, doesn't it?
The poppy one. No, the poppy one's all right. I mean, we quite like this poppy one. It's pretty cool. It takes a while to get going, but once it gets going, it's all right.
Caitlin Ford comes from the land down under, where Steph blows and Lydia plunders. Can't you hear that thunder? Defenders run, goalkeepers take cover.
Down under for Caitlin Ford and Steph Kelly. That's brilliant. That's another great one there. That was fantastic. Oh, that was brilliant, actually. That's one of the best ones ever. That. Let's see. I wonder if Terry's given you a score yet. I don't know what he was. I don't know if he has yet. We've got a Spurs fan in David. He says, "Come on, you Spurs." Well, you didn't come on very well the other night, did you? Because you got a bit Hamilton, so never mind. And Terry says, "Come on, Matt." So he just did it, Terry. You didn't miss them, did you? They're the best ones. It's the best ones he's done. If you did miss them, you have to watch them back in a minute, because they're definitely worth that. The down under one's brilliant for Caitlin Ford, so that was good, and Steph Catley, of course, as well. And of course, to celebrate her 2 goals against Tottenham, of course, the other night, which was great. Oh, there you go, Terry has seen it. He says 10 out of 10. Yeah, it definitely was a 10 out of 10.
Well deserved, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Stephen says, "Yeah, go on, lad, get turned out." Exactly, yeah, get the old volume up and get them crashing out. And what I'll have to do actually at the end of the season, what I might try and do is I'll try and put a clip together of all match chants and have it like on a little video, one after the other, so we can listen to it all. Be like a greatest hits album. It'll be. I'll put a little video together at the end of the season when we finish. So I'll do that. That'd be good as well. But that was a couple of great charts there from Matt tonight as well. It's good that Caitlin Ford got a good mention, because I say she did have a great game the other night with those 2 goals, and hopefully she might get more before the end of the season. Who knows? Brilliant stuff there. So yeah, we've got a 10th weekend to come, a 10th Sunday certainly to come, haven't we? Which I'm sure we're all going to be very, very nervous, either watching it at home or, in Matt's case and lots of others, actually in the stadium, which would be fantastic. That's going to be such a great occasion. It's going to be such a great atmosphere, I'm sure, in the ground as well. And I'll tell you, give you 10 out of 10 for both of them tonight. There you go, 10 out of 10 again.
I think that's the highest score Terry's given me for
I think it is. It has been the highest score. So you must have done well to impress Terry. He's like Simon Cowell, isn't he? He's never normally impressed with them. So the fact that he's giving you 2 10 out of 10s tonight, that's good. That's a good sign. That. So maybe that's a good sign for Sunday then. Maybe that's going to be the extra little push that we need to take us to the title. You know, those extra songs. But that was good stuff. So yeah, it's going to be a tense Sunday, but it's going to be great. And I totally agree with what's been said tonight. Whatever the outcome on Sunday, whether we finish first or whether we finish second, we do need to celebrate and appreciate what a great season it's been. And
Yes.
Hopefully we'll be back next season and being stronger and making sure that we do definitely come away with a trophy next season. But I'm not giving up hope. I'm still hoping that we can do it on Sunday, and let's see what happens. So yeah. Obviously the next thing on the channel will be Sunday, the watch along. The game starts at 12 o'clock, doesn't it? So it's a bit of an early start on the Sunday. Matt must be. What time are you setting off on Sunday? You must be getting off early, mustn't you?
Yeah. So I think I'll probably be It'll be between about 8:30 and 9. I'll be will be leaving from where I'm getting picked up. So we're aiming to be there for just before the players arrive, which will be around 11, around 10:30, I would assume.
Yeah. Okay. No, that'd be great. Yeah. So an early start, but as long as you make it there, that's the main thing. Terry says, a great show again, Richard Andreas, and the one and only my mate Matt. Yeah, you are indeed. It's good. Thanks for tuning in again, Terry, and everyone else as well. So yeah, I'll be there. I'll be back on Sunday for the game. I'll probably try and go live a little bit earlier than usual. I'll maybe try 20 to 12 just to get a little bit of a bit more pre-match stuff in, and we'll maybe try and see if we can get Matt on as well at some stage, either at half time before the game and stuff like that, to maybe let us sample a little bit of the atmosphere, which is going to be really good as well. So I'll send you the link anyway, and you can jump on if you get the time during the game at some point, which would be great. Terry says there, my favourite, the Kimmy song. Well, I mean, there's too many. I say I'm going to put a compilation video together at the end of the season, so you better pick your favourites. Then they want a bit of vote on what their favourite one is. But I quite like that Caitlin Fogle actually. But anyway, we'll listen to them all back. I'm sure some of them will. We might have forgotten some of them exactly how good they were. So maybe
I think Kamar still likes the. Then I went to IKEA.
Wow. Yeah, that was a good one. Yeah, actually, that was a good one. That was the Stina Blackstenius one, which was good. Yeah, so that's got me up there as well. Actually, that'll be one of the top ones I would have thought. So yeah, I'll say we'll get Matt on Sunday at some point. And maybe afterwards, if we have won the title, they're getting a trophy. Maybe you could bring us the trophy lift live from the ground. But anyway, we can sort it out on Sunday. But yeah, I'll probably go about 20 to 12, so we can get some nice build up to the game, and then obviously the full watch along, and I'll say some live stuff from Matt as well, and then we'll see what happens. And we may well be the show may go on a bit longer than normal at the end. Who knows if we're celebrating some stuff? You never know, it might be quite good. And of course, the extra show on Monday if we do win it. Andreas' great idea to get a champion special on to get everybody on and do that will be good actually. So we look forward to that as well. Stephen says I have to go, but great show, lads. I look forward to seeing the next Hit the Lights. But yeah, thanks for watching, Stephen. Again, great to have you in the comments. Hopefully, might see you Sunday if you're around for the game. That will be tense. It will be good. And I say if you are going and on Sunday, enjoy it. I'm sure you will. Yeah, let's hope we can celebrate long into the afternoon on Sunday. That would be great. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Andreas, thank you very much for joining us again. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, of course. It was fun and was a pleasure to be here again. And looking forward to Sunday. I'll watch it on TV on the Zone Germany, our match, and on my iPad I think I'll watch the Chelsea match as long as they don't have the lead. And then
if Chelsea go 2 or 3 up earlier, I'll switch that game off. I won't be interested anymore.
And I'll only watch our match, and hopefully we'll have to celebrate a win for us. And as I said, we should be proud of our season and celebrate our team no matter what happens. And if we come together on Monday for a special show, then it would have been a perfect weekend. But anyway, looking forward.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hope we all speak again on Monday, because that means we've done something amazing at the weekend, which would be great. And Matt as well, thanks for coming on again. Have you enjoyed the show?
Yeah, I'll apologise because I've probably gone on a lot more than I originally usually do, but again, it's been a fantastic season, and I think we should be celebrating that no matter what happens come 90 minutes.
Yeah, we should indeed.
For some of these girls, it's going to be their last hurrah. So let's give them a good send off. Let's give them something that they can go, yeah, I really enjoyed my time here. We still don't know whether or not some of them are coming or going. So hopefully we get to see them all. It'll be nice to see them all on that pitch, just giving 100%. That's all I'm asking for at this point.
I'm sure they will.
And I hope that there is going to be a show. I'm touching wood on Monday, because it will be. I think it's just going to be celebration galore if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, what we'll do is, I mean, obviously, if we're not doing the show on Monday because we have finished second, we'll do a good celebration of the season next Friday anyway on the season review. We'll really enjoy, the season. I think actually what might happen on Sunday, because at the moment we don't really know what's going on with Viv, do we? I think if she'll know what her decision is already, regardless of what happens Sunday, I think. And I think her reaction at the end of the game is going to tell you. You'll be able to tell if it's her goodbye because of the reaction that she'll give at the end. And I think we'll know on Sunday whether Viv's likely to go or stay. I just think if it's her last game, she'll know that herself inside, because she'll know what her decision is. And Sunday, the result on Sunday won't change that, I don't think. She's either staying already, she knows in her head, or she isn't. And she's already made. I think she already made that decision now. And I think on Sunday at the end of the game, we'll know by what her reaction is to the crowd and the fans. I think we'll have a lot more of an idea of what that decision is. Because I think if she's leaving, it will be clear that she's leaving, because I think she will show you, she'll sort of say goodbye to the crowd, I think, if she's leaving, because she'll know in herself. I think she'll have to do that, because she won't get another opportunity, will she, if that's her last game? So I think we might know a little bit more by her reaction as to whether or not she's staying. I'm hoping that obviously she is, and she just goes after the game as normal without making a big fuss, because she doesn't like a fuss anyway usually, does she? So
there won't be any tears.
No, I'm sure there won't be. I'm sure there won't be.
Yes.
No, there won't be. As I say, she won't make a big fuss about it, but I just think that I think we might be able to tell by her reaction at the end of the game to the crowd whether or not what her decision maybe is. Terry says, good luck, mate. Enjoy the day, mate. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, it's going to be great, isn't it? Terry says, we'll see you all on Monday. Beer's ready. Well, yeah, hopefully we will, Terry. We certainly will look forward to that. And Terry says, the pleasure is all ours, Andreas. Is spot on, Matt. We love them. Well, yeah, we do love them all. And hopefully they'll have something. They deserve to celebrate on Sunday, the girls as well, don't they? I'm sure we'll enjoy it, but they deserve it as well for the effort they put in all season, actually. So let's hope and pray that it's going to go our way, but we'll see. It's going to be exciting anyway, which is the main thing. So yeah, thanks to all you guys for watching. Thanks for all your comments as always. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Andreas as always, and to Matt as well. Obviously, we'll probably speak to Matt on Sunday from the ground at Dagenham for the last brilliant game of the season. It's going to be, I'm sure, and we will enjoy it all. So yeah, please join me on Sunday for that. So I'll probably go about 20 to 12 to get some real good build up to that game with all your team news, and then the tense 90 minutes or 95 minutes, however long it is going to be great, I'm sure. And we will enjoy that. So yeah, so please make sure you join me for that. If you haven't done so already, please give it a like before you leave, and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And if you are, I will hopefully see you on Sunday. Thanks to Andreas as always. Thanks to Matt as well. Hopefully we're all ready for Sunday, are we? We're all prepared for the drama, and everything else is going to be good. So let's hope it's a good one. So enjoy it, everyone. Wherever you're watching it on Sunday, whether you're at the ground, whether you're watching it at home, wherever you are, if you watch it in a pub, whatever you're doing on Sunday, enjoy the game. And hopefully we'll see you Monday with a celebration show. But if not, we'll be back next Friday anyway with a reflection on the season and a celebration of the season, actually, anyway, because that's what we're going to do. That's what's deserved. So please definitely stay tuned for all of that. And we will see you hopefully on Sunday. So enjoy it, and enjoy the rest of your weekend as well. And the weekend can start now because we finished the show, so that's the main thing. So again, thanks to Andreas and Matt, and it's goodbye from me. Of course, as always, come on, you Gunners, let's do this. Come on, can we be champions on Sunday? Come on, come